Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, welcome if you are new. Today we have a very exciting video, like I actually cannot wait to do this. I haven't done this video in coming up to a year. I did it in last summer when we lived in Greenwich and I am excited, I'm also terrified. Today we're doing a 24-hour readathon. I'm going to do it over like 2 or 3 days rather than like consecutively because your girl needs to sleep, and if I don't sleep I get really grouchy and I also like lose all my ability to do anything, and I do have to go to work on Tuesday. So I do need to be able to like actually function because I have a busy day of, or a busy week of work next week. So this weekend is one of our bank holiday weekends in the UK. So I've got 3 days to read for 24 hours and I'm very excited. Let's chat through the priority TBR for this video, but realistically I might just grab whatever I want to read and read it. But this is the books I want to focus on. So I think I mentioned this in videos before. I'm in the middle now of I think about 9 or 8, actually don't know, series. And I want to wrap them up and finish them off before I start new ones, ideally. One of the last books I need to read in a series is just not fit for this video. It's Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. I feel like if I read that book in this video, I will be destroyed and I will read nothing again. So I'm gonna leave that for another time. But the other books I have that will continue series, that will get me up to date or further through, are Daughter of the Siren Queen, which is the second book in the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. I also have the third book ready to go as well, so I might end up just going straight through all 3. It's a completed trilogy. It follows, shockingly, a daughter of a pirate king and her dad basically sets her off on some tasks and some challenges with the ultimate objective of finding gold because they're pirates. And she falls in love, like lots of stuff happens. I think, and I've mentioned this in the last video where I started this second book, it's quite a predictable trilogy. Like if you actually stop and think about it, all the stuff that happens, you have had many pre-warnings that it's gonna happen. So I wouldn't say it's like the most awe-inspiring series. Like obviously if you compare it to something like Throne of Glass, like they are worlds apart, but it's a fun, easy, effortless, just like, it's what you want out of a book, especially for a series like, or a challenge like this. And then the next books in series that I want to read, we have Apprentice to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. I just think these books are so fun. I don't really know what category they fall into. Like it's somewhere between a romance, like a silly book, a cozy fantasy, and I guess into a degree a dark fantasy, but he's not really that bad. So it follows a woman in the first book who is an assistant to the like local villain, and it's just so like quirky, and this is the next book. We then have Lynette, Noni, the Blood Traitor, which is the last book in the Prison Healer trilogy. I am enjoying this book quite a lot, so I'm excited to read the next one. We then have Destined by PC and Kristen Cast, which is the next book in the House of Night series I'm reading. I think after this there are 4 books left, so we're getting there. It's like a 15 or 16 long series. Like it's a long series, but they're all quite short, so I don't mind so much. And then we have Powerless by Elsie Silver, which is the next book in whatever this series is called. It's like small town cowboy romance, and I just think this would be a really like easy, quick, effortless, silly little story to read, likely when I'm flagging. And then if I also can read the next 2 books in this series too. That's my priority TBR. I also have an ebook which will accompany me while I do some tasks, and it is 7 X's by Lucy Vine. It follows a girl called Esther who with her 2 friends read an article in a magazine about how everyone has 7 people they will date before they find the one. The first love, the work mistake, the friend with benefits, the overlap, the mischance, the bastard, and the serious one. And then she realises that she's had 7 exes, so one of her exes is gonna be the one. And so she basically just like goes through all of her past relationships, and I don't really know what happens after that, but I've got that as an ebook from the library. And I'm gonna start a timer. So 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Hey! So, right, let me read you a quote from this book. And you will see why, as much as like the plot is a bit predictable, it's kind of fun. So Ryden is the male love interest and Alosa is the female love interest. And this is a quote that he says to her. You're beautiful, the most stunning person I've ever seen. You're fearless, you like danger. You like to make your friends laugh and your enemies cower. You have the power to obtain anything you want, yet you've worked hard for everything you have. So no, Alosa, I cannot promise that I won't ignore orders again. Like I said, when it comes to you, I have no control over my actions. I love the two of them together. I just absolutely I just love it. I've been reading now for not very long, 15 minutes. And I will keep reading and I will let you know when there's a next solid quote, but like... Well, that was cute. I've now finished Daughter of the Siren Queen. And it actually wraps up pretty well in its own right. Like, I feel like it was probably designed to be written as a duology. Like, the story is so like wrapped up with a little bow. Like, I can see where it could go, but like it's pretty finished. And we are 1 hour and 27 minutes into the 24-hour timer. The washing will be done in about 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna like chill at home, probably start reading my next book, and then I am gonna put my ebook on, put the washing out, head into town to run some errands, and then we'll be back. So I think what I'm gonna go for next is just literally continue on with the next book in this series, which is Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. I feel like the titles of these books also tell you what happens at the end of each book. Time to head out, but just look at these flowers. They smell incredible. Like, yep, and then rubbish. I've made it back from town. I've got 21 hours and 11 minutes left on the timer, and I am 1 hour 51 into the audiobook of The Seven X's. It feels like I'm watching a Hallmark rom-com. Like, that's just genuinely what it feels like. Like, nothing serious, but kind of fun. But I picked up 2 books from the library. One is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I've completely obliterated that name. This went viral on the internet, like, probably about 2 years ago, and I haven't read it yet. And I got Alice Feeney's Beautiful Ugly, which is a new book, so it's on a 1-week loan situation. And this is basically about husband and wife, where the wife goes missing and then the husband finds the wife many years later, but she's actually changed. And then I got my little books printed out for my book journal. I'm still reading, obviously. It's now 19 hours and 37 minutes left on the timer. I'm about halfway through Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. You remember when I said at the end of the previous book that this feels like a duology and it's wrapped up? Yeah, we're following different characters. This is so clearly the duology did very well and the author wrote an extra book. Like, it's a story that just didn't really need to be told. So we're following one of the like crewmates, I don't know what you call them, from the first duology, or like first 2 books of the trilogy. And she's now going out to rescue some of the Pirate Queen's like previous crew who have gone missing. And so you don't really have as much of the fantasy elements you have from the first two books because you're missing like the fantasy characters. And the romance of this book doesn't feel quite so like enemies to lovers because they already know each other, and there's a bit of like a frustration between the two of them, but like they're so clearly in love with each other, and so the love-hate thing isn't really working for me. So yeah, I'm not loving this book as much as the first two, and it definitely feels like if I was to say this to someone, read the first two books and just call it a day. Oh, it's now really cold. What is this saying? Welcome to England, where the weather is up and down and you don't know whether you're coming or going. But I have just about made it to 17 hours left, and I've just finished Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. It does get the fantasy element comes back, just with a very different beast. That did surprise me. I wasn't expecting it. Like, I was expecting something, but like what happened I did not see coming. But then once that thing happened, I could see the ending. I just saw it coming. But it was fun. Like, it was like a light-hearted, easy to read book. I would say 3.5 stars. Like, I feel like that's fair. Anyway, now on to the next book, and I'm gonna go have a bath in a minute and wash my hair and try and warm up because I'm now very cold because I stayed in my like summer outfits for slightly too long. The next book I'm gonna read is Apprentice to the Villain, which is the second book after Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. This is just so much fun. I actually can't wait to read this. And then I have been reading, or listening, I should probably say, to more of the 7Xs. So I'm now 3 hours in. So coming up to a third of the way through. I am actually really enjoying it. Like, I've never read anything by Lucy Vine before. I've not even heard of this book. I am actually just really enjoying it. And actually, I think the ebook reader, or whatever you call them, I think she's exceptional. Like, I'm really, really enjoying her reading the story to me. So I was listening to a chunk of that while I did my book journal. So I stuck in my missing April reads. So my April spread is now fully complete. And then I did my May spread. And then those are my books for my monthly TBR. And then I stuck in the book I finished yesterday, the book I finished this morning, and I can put the third book in now. It's now day 2 of the challenge. I've got 13 hours and 56 minutes left on the timer, and I am that far through the audiobook, so made some really decent progress. And then this is the book I'm currently reading on page 188, so coming up to halfway through. This book is just ridiculous. Like, it's just such a silly little story. It's getting more silly and more ridiculous the further through the series you go, but I still love it. There's something about this series that's just so much fun, and I'm just really enjoying it. We are rapidly approaching halfway through, and I've just finished my next book. Honestly, do I understand the magic system? Absolutely not. Do I really understand what they're trying to achieve? Also absolutely not. But is it still just like a really fun book and I'm just having a really fun time reading it? Yeah. So I don't really know how to rate this book. Like, it's one of those like weird things where I had a really fun time, but I actually, yeah, I don't know. So, time to pick our next book. And these were the 3 options we picked at the beginning of the vlog. I've read 3 fantasies now. So part of me wants to read Powerless by Elsie Silver. And then also, if I want another break later, I've still got book 4 and 5 out of this series as well. So I enjoy these books. I find them really easy to read, good palette cleansers. I like the characters in them, and I enjoy some of the relationships. I tend to find the smut in these books a little bit clunky. It follows Jesper, who is the hockey throb on TV. Is this the next book? This is the next book, right? Flawless, Heartless, Powerless. Yeah. It follows Jesper, he's the hockey heartthrob on TV, and a childhood friend. I think it's childhood friends to lovers. This is the family tree I found online, but I'm struggling to read it. So Jasper is chosen family of Cade and Bo and Rhett. Oh god, I'm getting very confused. I just binge read this book in one sitting without moving. I think it's the least favourite one in the whole series by like popular opinion. I actually loved it, and I think it's because there's so much history between these two characters. It genuinely felt realistic, and so the like attraction there was between them felt like it was like grounded in something real, so it felt significantly less like clunky and awkward than the other books where the physical attraction was so freaking fast. It just felt awkward. While in this, I was smiling and I was giggling, and Alex kept turning around being like, what are you laughing at? Laughing at my book. Like, I actually loved this, and I think, like I say, this is most people's least favourite, but I just don't care. And I'm gonna listen to the next portion of the ebook that I'm reading. It's 7X's by Lucy Vine. I am actually really enjoying it. Like, it's very unserious, and it's very, like, the characters are actually quite annoying. She's starting to get a little bit unsufferable, but it's quite fun, you know, and it's quite easy.
A bit familiar and safe in all of this. Of all the other days in my life that I've tried to capture the world outside, continuing without me. Louise and Alex, but I don't think they've had my back for a while.
We're now down to single digits in terms of hours left. Get how much, well, I didn't forget, I definitely remembered how much I love this trilogy. Like, the magic system, the world, the romance, the twists and turns. Like, I'm just obsessed. Like, I am truly obsessed. I just sat and read 114 pages of this book without blinking. The second book, and I don't think this is much of a spoiler because it doesn't really mean anything, but the second book ends with quite a big betrayal, and the two people that one person's betrayed the other, they've just seen each other again for the first time, and I just stopped reading then because I was like, that is such an incredible cliffhanger just to like stop on. Like, I'm taking a break, but not because I'm not enjoying the book, because I need to get some steps in, and I'll get some steps in while town is actually still open because it's Sunday today. So I have just put some socks on, I'm gonna put some shoes on, and then I'm gonna go back to my ebook. We've not got a lot left. I can't work out who she's gonna end up with. I'm assuming who she's gonna end up with based on the way they're like positioning it, but it also could be a curveball because I think there's two of her exes that she hasn't met up with yet, I think. One thing I'm enjoying about that book is the main characters are 29, which is the same age as me. So when there's like flashbacks to them being younger, the cultural references they pick up at that age are the same things that I went through. So I am really enjoying it exactly, like, it's so realistic in terms of what they're going through. They are very unlikable characters, or at least that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. And there's some stuff going on and she's probably reacting to it, probably not in the best way. She's like, woe me, my life is so bad. Like, God, there's so many sounds around me. I'm very easily overwhelmed. We are making a roast dinner, so the oven is on cooking a chicken, and then the dishwasher is making some peculiar sounds. But we are just under 7 hours left, and I just finished the ebook of 7X's. So here's the thing. It wasn't the best written book. Like, some of the characters in it and some of the choices they made, odd, peculiar, questionable. And like, the writing wasn't like poetic or beautiful or gonna win awards or anything, but it was just a fun book. I genuinely think I'm gonna give it 3 stars, but that makes it sound really bad. It's just, I'm gonna forget about this instantly. Like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I've forgotten the entire plot. Like, it's just, like, the way I describe it is like a Hallmark movie. Like, it's kind of fun. You watch it, you don't really think much while you're watching it, and then it's over, and then you move on with your life. And that's kind of what this book was. And that's absolutely fine. And I am just over halfway through Blood Traitor by Lynette Noni. And while the other book was like fun and fine, but didn't inspire anything, I am obsessed with this book. I am so truly, undyingly obsessed. The found family, the relationships, the enemies to lovers to enemies to now building back into lovers again. Like, and they are proper enemies. Like, there is some stuff, I was gonna swear there is some stuff that has gone down between these two, which, well, not on her side so much, but on his side creates like a true like hatred. But there's like the love that he's built for her before that he's having to like try and like hide the hatred, and watching the relationship build back together again. I'm obsessed. Like, I actually just freaking love this book. This book, man, if you haven't read this trilogy, go and read it immediately. They're making up. Oh my god, I actually can't. I can't really read anything out because it's gonna ruin plots of it, but I don't know how I'm gonna keep going with this challenge. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna keep reading books. Honestly, the ending of this book, I wanted to cry, then I wanted to be happy, then I was stressed, then I was happy again. The emotional roller coaster of this book was purely something else, and I genuinely don't know what is ever gonna follow this. Like, I loved it. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do now. I don't really know how I'm supposed to react. I don't know how I'm supposed to like function. I still have 5 hours and 43 minutes left of this challenge. If I want to follow my TBR, my next two options are Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is the next book in this series, having already read Powerless, or It's the Unhoneymooners. So I would say one of these two books is my next option. Book 1, book 2. I'm going to do a random number generator. Generate 2. It's the next book in this series. So I don't know why this is on my TBR when I hadn't actually read Powerless, but let's not get into that. We are following Theo, who I think is one of the other brothers. And then I think his love interest is the female best friend from the first book. Yeah, Winter, which is Summer's best friend, sister, something. So I am this far through this book. I've made it to page 311 and the book is like 390 pages long. So I've got 80 pages left. I'm getting a little bit bored. So this book is a accidental pregnancy from one night stand, and then it like flash forwards like 18 months later and he didn't realise that she was pregnant. And then it kind of goes from like 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds. And I get there's attraction there because obviously they had a one night stand originally, but I don't mean the attraction. I mean they are confessing undying love for each other after like 5 minutes. And it's just really unbelievable. And there's just something about this romance in this book in particular that just doesn't feel realistic at all. I just don't get it. I'm just not. And I feel like any book after last book was gonna struggle. Like, I feel like I'm probably reading this at the worst time as well. But there's just something in this story that just doesn't feel realistic. I haven't got much left of this book to read. And I'm approaching the 4 hour left mark. So we shall see. I'm probably gonna head downstairs and make a quick cuppa before I continue. But I'm just not convinced. I'm just not sold on them as a love story. It's just not speaking to me and I'm just not feeling it. Well, I finished it. Did it get much better? Not really. Honestly, I just didn't believe in this relationship whatsoever. There was something about it for me that just didn't work. And I think it's because it wasn't even too lusty. Like, it wasn't, I don't know. There was just something about it for me that didn't sit right. And we now have 3 hours and 44 minutes left on the clock. And I think I need a genre that I haven't read from yet. I need a thriller. This is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. a complete genre shift. I don't think I can read, I still can't read another fantasy right now. I'm still not emotionally over the blood traitor. It seems to be there is a husband and wife, and the wife goes missing, and then the husband finds the wife many years later, and she's changed. That's the vibe I get. So let's read this and see how it goes. It is the next day. It's currently 10:30. I have 1 hour and 34 minutes left on the timer, and I have just finished Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I can't work out what it is about this book. There were certain points of this book where I was like, what on earth is happening? But in like a really fun, thrillery, absolutely loving it kind of way. And then there were some points while I was reading it going, this is now getting far-fetched. Like, there's a point in which they're all effectively like a cult, and I was like, okay. So I can't work out how I'm gonna rate this book. I can, like, it's definitely a thriller. Like, you definitely just wanna like keep reading to find out what happened. And for that reason, you cannot dispute this book as an amazing book. I think the plot line is a bit odd, and I'm not sure I liked the ending. I found the ending a bit weird. And I only have an hour and a half left, which is probably not enough time to read a full book. So, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I'm thinking a book that I know I'm not gonna finish. And I'm thinking I might start the last book in the Throne of Glass series, because I just want to get that series finished. There are so many series I want to start reading, but I feel like I only have enough brain capacity to hold one like mega universe in my brain, and the mega universe is being held up by Throne of Glass. So I think I might start our last book, and that'll be the last book I read in this video. 24 hours, completed it. Done, finished. So I'm actually looking forward to not having to read and just like reading out choice. It was getting a bit much towards the end. But in the last, hour and 45 minutes or so of the video, got to page 276 of Kingdom of Ash. It took me some time to get back into it. I had to reopen my blog post of who the hell is everyone? Why does everyone's names sound the same? What? But then once I was back in, I loved it and I'm enjoying it a lot, and I actually can't wait to see how it ends. I feel like this is one of those series you just almost have to read them back to back, and I think I kind of wish I had. I feel like I'd have enjoyed them a lot more if I did, because I do have a good 100 pages every time where I'm just confused about who is who, and then once I get over that, I really enjoy the rest of the book. That is the 24 hours over. I read a good number of books. I read these ones, plus 2 ebooks, plus an audiobook, plus a good chunk of this book. So that's a lot of books. Should we do a really quick whistle-stop tour through everything we read? So we finished off the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy with book 2, which I really, really enjoyed. And then book 3, which I don't really think was needed. We also listened to an ebook called 7 X's, which was fun, rom-com-y, easy, simple, did the job, entertained me. I will immediately forget it by tomorrow. We then read Apprentice to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. This is silly, fun, quirky. I think the romance in this book isn't as good as the romance in Assistant to the Villain. It's the same romance, but I think because the slow burn has gone a little bit, I kind of missed that element to this book, but I still love the supporting characters. I love the little frog. He's cute. He's up here in this cover. There's something just fun and quirky about this book, and it's a fun time. We then read Powerless by Elsie Silver, which I actually really enjoyed because the relationship between these two characters felt really realistic. You have childhood friends to lovers. I actually really enjoyed this. I gave this book 4 stars, but in the solid 4-star category. We then have the book that I think temporarily broke me for the next 2 books. This is The Blood Traitor, which is the last book in the Prison Healer trilogy. I'm still not over this story. I'm still not over it. You know, like sometimes I read books, and this is happening to me with this, where it's all blurring into one, and this Cruel and Lovely, is that what it's called? Yeah, whatever that series is called, and this series are slightly merging into one series in my head. This I could keep so separate. Like these characters to me were just burned into my brain. I loved this book. We then read Reckless by Elsie Silver, which I think kind of went back into the old Elsie Silver writing style, which I just wasn't here for. I just don't think I believe her like instant attraction stories where like two strangers see each other just like in town and then that's it. That they're meant to be, they fall in love, there's no looking back. We then read Alice Feeney's Beautiful Ugly, which creeped me the hell out. It was also set on a Scottish island, and I have not long recently come back from Scotland, not far from where we were, but it was creepy, it was weird. The ending went a little bit off the rails. I was really enjoying it until it became like a cult at the end and I wasn't there for it, but yeah, it was good and it was fun and it was quick, so finished this. And then we rounded off with a good chunk of Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas, which finishes this series, which I'm equally really excited to finish it. One, because I want to know how it ends, and two, just because I want to be able to like take these characters out of my brain and like put them over here and like free space up for other things. But then I'm also sad because it means the story will be over. And that is everything. I feel like my brain is full of stories, my brain is full of words. I did this over 2.5 days, so I gave myself a little bit of time, but not a lot. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I feel like I need to film more of these more often, but obviously let me guys know. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe because I film so many reading videos and I'm so excited for you guys to see them. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!